Welcome to another episode of Chad Sports Talk. Y'all know my name's Chad. Take a dive on sports. And here it is, the recap for this past weekend's NFL Divisional Round matchups. And holy cow, was this a great weekend of football action. We had everything. It came to the last possession in each and every game. It's unbelievable. Does Brady continue on for his quest for ring number 8? Does Aaron Rodgers continue on? What's going to happen with the Alamo Home Showdown? We'll discuss all that in a minute, but before we get into that, a little side note, if you could, just smash that thumbs up for me, especially the content I provide you and the entertainment value I provide you. And please do too, guys. Helps promote this channel. You can also subscribe to my analytics. A lot of you guys review my work, and I love you all for doing that. Now, many of you subscribe. It's cost you a dime. It helps me provide more entertainment value for you. Now let's kick this off. This wow, this weekend's action was intense. I struggled to match my outcome I did last week. There's definitely some games that did not seem to go the way they did, and on Saturday we both had number one seeds in action, and kind of see how things kind of going. And it seems like recent actions of the NFL is the one that has the bye. The one comes in struggling, which I find kind of weird, but I do see it as well because you get the other team already coming in hot because they just, had a great game the previous week, and here we go. So let's kick it off in Nashville where the Titans were playing host to the Bengals. Bengals got their first playoff win in like 31 years, so they're flying high. Titans are trying to play for the first time to host the AFC Championship game. And the Bengals are looking for their first road win in the playoffs in quite some time. So you got a lot of things on the plate, and the tempo was set pretty high in the first possession of the Titans. When Tannehill threw a pick. So already Titans defense is already playing behind. The offense wasn't, striving right away. King Henry returned. Spoilers, his return was kind of inept. He definitely wasn't King Henry of old. But of course, you come off injury, he's going to take some time to come back. So, I thought this was going to be more of a committee of running backs to stifle the Cincinnati defense. And the Tennessee defense did everything they possibly could. Every time the Bengals had the possession, they relegated them to field goals in the first half. I mean, that's all it was just field goals. I mean, how potent this offense is. They'll only be relegated to field goals means a lot. But the Tennessee offense could not match that tenacity. They couldn't, find ways to connect when they had to. I mean, that first half, Titans finally got on the board, and they went for two and lost it. They should have just kicked the extra point. But, they were down 9-6 at half. So, that could be a stunning defensive showdown. And it pretty much was. Tennessee set a record, or tied a record, for most sacks in the game with 9. Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times. But this man just keep coming up. I think Ryan Clark on Get Up said the best that this was his Eli Manning moment. It was a game that, in the playoff game, that Eli Manning, when they made that run for the Super Bowl, he kept getting knocked down. He kept getting back up and just going at it, and just kept getting knocked down, getting up, going at it. And this is definitely what Joe Burrow was doing. Sacked 9 times, but still making spectacular plays, finding the receivers, and he had to keep the drive moving. Mixon had a great touchdown that really helped out, and it's once again it fell on Tannehill to kind of lead the charge, and Tannehill has a few games here and there that was kind of but this team's always going to rally around and do what they had to do. But Tannehill threw a pick on a drive. They were trying to make a drive to set up a game-winning field goal. Burrows able to set it up for McPherson, a guy that the Bengals drafted higher than what normally most teams draft a kicker. And he hit the game winner to send the Bengals to their third AFC Championship game in knocking off the number 1 seed Tennessee. With the Bengals trip, like I said, it's the third time. The previous 2 times, they went to the Super Bowl. They didn't win, but they went to the Super Bowl and got beat by the 49ers. Speaking of which, the Niners went out to Lambeau Field to take on Aaron Rodgers. And when this game started, Aaron Rodgers made a drive to score a touchdown, and he thought here we go. Aaron Rodgers is going to just light him up. But one thing you got to note, that Aaron Rodgers facing the 49ers in the postseason is 0-3 thus far. And I think that will play a huge factor in how things are going to pan out in this game, because after that, the 49ers defense tightened up the grip. Aaron Rodgers wasn't taking the easy throws anymore for some reason. Garoppolo couldn't really do much. The 49ers offense was pretty much inept for most of the game. For first half, they had 0 points. But they just came back, and there was a blocked field goal attempt at the end of the first half. And then later on in the game, a blocked punt by the 49ers. The ball went straight up in the air. No one had sight of it. It landed. 49ers scooped it up, scored, and tied the game at 10. Aaron Rodgers at this point, when he finished the game, had 0 touchdowns. 0. One of the greatest that ever stood open as a Packer, had 0 touchdowns in this game. But then it fell back on the 49ers. They had enough time to drive down the field. And Robbie Gould, the former kicker, he's been away for a few years, but he used to kick in Chicago. So he's used to playing those games in Lambeau Field in the cold. Hits the game winner, knocks out Aaron Rodgers out of the playoffs. And the 49ers are heading to the conference championship game. It was improbable because Jimmy G looked like he was trying to cough up the ball. He wasn't doing exactly what he needed to do. Aaron Rodgers was just not playing up to his level. The 49ers are his Achilles heel in the playoffs. What happens to Aaron Rodgers in the postseason or in the offseason? Does he stay in Green Bay? He stated, there's a lot of contracts that got to get worked out because a lot of them, because of salary cap issues and a lot of contracts, and then he doesn't want to be there for a rebuild. Does mean this is the last game of Aaron Rodgers in a Packer uniform? Only time will tell. But seeing the threads in Twitter and noticing that for the past 30 years, the Packers have had probably the best duo of quarterbacks. And Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. The 2 of the best of the game. They're definitely going in the Hall of Fame, but only have 2 championships. Does that bad against those 2? Or is it saying about the parity in the league where you can't have these guys doing it? Because the other great Packer is Bart Starr, who had 5 NFL titles, including the first 2 Super Bowls. So, it's give or take, but then you got to look at the level of talent, number of teams between Bart Starr's era, Brett Favre's era, and then Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers had more teams to play against than Bart Starr did. I think almost doubled. But that's something you have to hang on to. Is like they're going to look at Aaron Rodgers' legacy, much like they look at Brett Favre's, and go, he has 1 title. Eli has 2. Peyton has 2. Ben has 2. Mahomes already has 1, and he could be going for his second very shortly. So just throwing it out there. I mean, Drew Brees has one, you're hanging your hand on there. Phil Rivers had none. So some of these other great quarterbacks that kind of, are up there that don't have anything to show for it, like Jim Kelly, 4 straight trips, no titles. Dan Marino, 1 trip, no titles. Some of the greatest quarterbacks out there that never won it. Warren Moon, another great quarterback. Didn't quite hit that plateau in the NFL. He had some great years in the CFL, winning the Grey Cup, but can never duplicate that success in the NFL with the title. But time will tell what Aaron Rodgers does in the offseason. More likely, I think he's out in Green Bay. He'll probably play a year or two somewhere else, either Denver or Vegas possibly. But I think that's going to be the thing with him. Is like he's going to find some place that's be able to win now with the talent they had in Green Bay. I think Denver is probably the best option for him, depending on the coaching staff and all that stuff. But that's for discussion at another time. Now we head off into Sunday's matchups, and these games will determine who will host the conference championship games. And let's just start off with the Rams and the Buccaneers. This was a phenomenal game. There was definitely a tone tried to be set by the Buccaneers as they tried to, I guess, bully their way. Because the Rams were doing everything they possibly could to to win this. They were being dominant in the beginning. Sua got to Stafford, sacked him. Sua was like, kick me one more time, and you see what happens. Pretty much threatening the guy. It used to be teammates, by the way. The ref threw the flag for taunting. Of course, got upset, and then later on, later on in the half, Von Miller came around the end. Brady threw the ball. He got there like a second after the ball got thrown, so Von Miller hit him. His helmet hit him in the chest, but then it kind of rose up, hit him underneath the face mask. Well, Brady's one of these individuals seems to get away with a lot. I think it was a game against the Saints. He actually ran to the Saints sideline, yell at them, "Go F yourselves," and walks back. Does not get called for taunting then. I mean, he jaws the refs all the time. Doesn't get called. Apparently, he said something that the ref didn't like. He got flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct. And that's just that was it. The Buccaneers look deflated at the end of the half. The only spark they had was when the Rams were driving down and then Akers coughed up the ball toward the end of the half. That was like what kind of not let all the air escape yet out of the Buccaneers. And they were down 20-3 at that time frame. And of course, all thing you hear from commentators is, well, but that 28-3 game in the Super Bowl against the Falcons, where Brady's talking about that. I mean, they said that thing so many times, I was getting sick of it. But how eerily prognostic that was, that the commentators kept mentioning it, because a string of unfortunate circumstances led to a Buccaneers revival in the second half. Cooper Kupp coughed up the ball. When does that happen? That led to a Fournette touchdown. Akers coughs up the ball again. Coughed up the ball, I think, like 2 more times. I mean, there's like 4 fumbles the Rams had that the Bucs recovered. And the Buccaneers, end up getting the game tied at 27-all. But then towards the end, looked like the Rams could be playing for overtime, whatnot. There was a blitz going on, but Kupp got behind the defense. Stafford hit him. They went running down, spiked the ball, set up a game-winning field goal, and the Rams knocked off the Buccaneers ending the Buccaneers' chance of repeating, ending Brady's unprecedented role, maybe winning number 8. And the Rams won 30-27, able to host San Francisco for a third matchup in the conference championship game next week. Bruce Arians, at the end of that game, said it's supposed to be an all-out blitz. Not everyone got the call, which was mean a couple more linebackers came in, which maybe not allowed Stafford the time to be able to find or make that deep throw to Cooper Kupp, which has set up the game-winning field goal. But, there's like 4 points that Gay already missed already, and I think that's what kind of maybe the Buccaneers weren't, playing that. But, hey, whatever. It's like the first time in like 12 years that neither Rodgers or Brady will be the conference championship game. I mean, just think about that one, how dominant those two guys have been throughout their entire career. Now they're not going to be in the conference championship game for the first time in 12 years. I mean, that is just unprecedented. And then the game that probably should have been the Super Bowl. I mean, really, this is how great this game was. It was a phenomenal game between two outstanding quarterbacks. This is the next gen. These guys are going to be the new kings of the league once Brady and Rodgers finally hang it up. Because there's no Breeze, there's no Ben now. Ben's going to hang them up. I mean, they are the next two. Russell Wilson's pretty much at the tail end of his career. But Josh Allen, the running back and the quarterback body, and Patrick Mahomes, the alien, it seems like, that makes just incredible the circus act that's in a quarterback body. I mean, this is just, these two guys are just a highlight reel if you watch them. And they were slinging the rock back and forth, splitting up, 14 all at the half. There was a missed field goal by KC in this one as well in the first half. Back to second half, exact same thing. They were just going back and forth. It was the final 2 minutes of this game. I think this is the emphasis of the entire season that everyone just loved. In under 2 minutes, 25 combined points were scored for 3 lead changes. Let that sink in. That's a record, by the way. That many points being scored within, that time frame. And they just kept going back and forth. It looked like, the Bills went ahead with throwing to a Davis for touchdowns. I mean, Davis had 4 TDs alone. I think 3 of them came in that final time frame. It was just a unreal aspect of what was going on in this game. Looked like he had it, and then Mahomes threw it to Tyreek Hill, who just broke free, and then he was off. He was gone. And then the Chiefs were ahead. And then the Bills come back down again, and once again went to Davis. I mean, they put the Bills up ahead. I mean, they were up in the game, 14 seconds. They were up by 3. Now, on Get Up this morning, watch a little bit of that before I record this video. Rex Ryan was saying they should have squib kicked it. Now, when you squib kick it and go bounce around, that means the team has to field it. Which means by the time they do that, they field it and they get themselves up. Looking at about 3 to 5 seconds being, taken off. Which would give KC less time to set up, or less time to make a drive to set up for a field goal. And so you have that aspect. And then also the Bills defense was playing the sidelines instead of concentrating in the middle of the field because the Chiefs had timeouts. So why you worry about the sidelines? You should worry about more of the middle of the field. And it's just some blown coverages. I mean, Mahomes able to find Kelsey to set up a game-time field goal, which he hit, which sent the game to overtime. And it's, 50-50 ball there, these overtime rules, if you score that touchdown the first possession, that's it, game over. Or if you a safety. Game's over. And Chiefs won the kick, drove, hit Kelsey in the back on the side of the end zone, and the game was over. That's it. Chiefs win to go back to the AFC Championship game to take on the red-hot Bengals for a rematch from earlier this year, which the Chiefs lost home field advantage. And see if Mahomes can, make it 3 in a row. Now, looking at the feed on Twitter, I didn't want to get involved in these type of antics. A lot of people are whining about the NFL overtime rules, saying it's not fair that the Bills didn't get a chance to get possession and try to tie it. Now, I'm one of these individuals that for a while I would have agreed with them. But as astute as I try to be when watching these games, this is a team aspect. Regardless who wins the coin flip, it's still a team sport. If you want a chance to win, you must stop the other team. If these last 2 minutes proved anything to anyone, the defenses were gassed. They were done. That was it. They had really not much else to give. And so to have a defense step up, try to make the play, somebody had to come off, just get that last second adrenaline rush to make the key hit or the key pick or the key stop to keep Kansas City from the end zone. Because if they held them to a field goal, I think Josh Allen would have came down and hit the game-winning touchdown. But they didn't. I think the NFL version of overtime now is a lot better than what it was. Before, it used to be first points score wins. That's it. Game over. They've always liked the idea of them at least having a possession each, much like, college football does. And then one thing I don't like about college football overtime rules is you set up on the 25 and you go. You don't have a chance to, kick it back and then, pin the guys deep and then have them punt and you got a short field to work with or pick them off, do a pick six for the short kind of end. That aspect about the college football I don't like. So that's why you have these long overtime games. Plus, they don't play for a tie anymore. It's like you play till you win. That works, I think, more with postseason games like the NFL. Like this one would have been keep on complaining till you went on. And I understand why people want Allen to have the ball again. Why these teams are going back and forth, trading jabs. I mean, you bet to see who's going to give up. Finally go. That's it. Yield, you win. But that's not the case for the NFL in the postseason. They play till they win. And is it unfortunate Josh Allen didn't get opportunity to showcase his abilities again? Yes, but he had 4 quarters to do that. The Bills defense had 4 quarters to stop Mahomes, and even extra time to stop Mahomes, and they failed to do so. Do I wish that the Bills and Chiefs could have faced off in the Super Bowl? Oh, yes. I mean, I think this will be, the ultimate Super Bowl between these two, but they're playing the same conference. They're both old AFL teams. Have had a long history against each other. So, that's one of those sad aspects in terms of this. Sometimes you got to see these great quarterbacks going against each other, and somebody has to lose. This time it had to be Josh Allen again in Kansas City. Maybe they got to wait till Mahomes gets injured or something, or gets upset, and then Buffalo can make it to the Super Bowl. I don't know. But this was a fantastic weekend of football. I ended up going 2-2. I went 0-2 on those Saturday games, but came back on the fury of the Sunday games. They come up with these matchups next week for the conference championship games. Chiefs are hosting the Bengals, and the Rams are hosting the 49ers. Those are going to be excellent games to find out who's going to go into the Super Bowl and being hosted in SoFi. Do the Rams become the second straight team to play in their home stadium for the Super Bowl? Do the Bengals go 3-0 in a conference championship game and make it to the Super Bowl once again? Do we have a rematch from 2 years ago with the Chiefs and 49ers? Do we have the Bengals and 49ers do a rematch for a third time? There's so many different little angles to kind of go after all this to, who is going to rise to the top. Is it going to be the young gun, Joe Burrow? Is it going to be the old hat, Matthew Stafford? I mean, who knows what's going to happen with these teams? Who's going to rise to the top? Who's going to, represent their conference in the Super Bowl? On Tower Tell, I'll get that preview for you if you have to at the end of this week. And hey, let me know down below what you think about these weekend games. Do you think Brady and Rodgers are done? Are they going to hang them up? Or do they still have one more go? If they do, will they stay where they're at or will they go somewhere else? I think if Brady does play one more year, he's in Tampa Bay. But I think Rodgers is done as a Packer. With the next week's games, who's your favorite? Right now, I still got my Super Bowl champions still in the playoffs. As I predicted the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. It's going to be without Aaron Rodgers, so I don't know who I'm going to pick next week. So you have to check out that video later on. And you can also, when you leave a comment, you hit that thumbs up for me. Once again, it really helps me out. And you can subscribe. Hit that bell notification. Let you know next time I post a video. And I will see you next time on Chat Sports Talk.